Number fourth most important topic for the 49ers heading into training camp. Will Raheem Mostert even show up? And if he does, how will the 49ers use him? What do you think, Dad?
Boy, this is a fascinating topic. And I'm going to, I think a former columnist is entitled to his opinion. Let's even say his bias. Everybody says you're supposed to be objective. Baloney. What I was my whole life was not objective. And my working hypothesis is that this York family is cheap. There's a bunch of cheapos, although they shouldn't be. And I think they're going to make a point of humiliating their best running back because he signed a crummy contract when he thought he was primarily a special teams player, and they're going to make him live with it. What I think is going to happen is poor Raheem Mostert is going to tuck his tail between his legs and come and play, and he's going to be very unhappy. But I think the upshot of that is going to be that people in that locker room like him, admire him, and they're going to have players don't like ownership anyway, but they're going to like it even less. Why don't you explain how you think they're going to use him? And I would add, how they're going to screw him.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, yesterday there was a report that he met with 49ers ownership. And the way I interpreted that was the Niners trying to make him look like he had a change of heart and like he thought he was being greedy, and he came to the team and was like, you know what? I just discovered I'm a team player again. Forget about it. I don't like that at all because I don't think that's what happened. I don't. This team did a really good job of not leaking information, and now this got out, and it makes me wonder, like, what was the story? He didn't get a raise. Are you making it look like he's backed off his demand? Because I don't think he has. So what I think is going to happen is he doesn't have leverage. He hasn't made a lot of money. He's probably going to have to show up for training camp. But at that point, so they have all the leverage. What they can do is use him the same way they used him last year, not start him, and that can be their comment to him. You think you've outperformed your contract. You think you're better than you used to be. We really don't see you any differently. You're still going to be the number 2 running back behind Tevin Coleman because that's the way we do things around here. That's what I expect.
But I want to emphasize the economic impact of that. He probably has stuff written into his contract, total yards, total carries. They can cut down on his bonuses or whatever you want to call them. Incentives. Yeah, incentives by lousing him up like that. And what's more, I fully expect that to happen.
Oh, he did it last year.
Yeah. Okay. I have a second question on this.
Okay.
And Iggy, I want to answer it because I don't want you to get in trouble with that management. Who's the leaker? I mean, who's the leaker? You say someone said, a source said that they met with Raheem Mostert. Well, I don't think the agent did because the agent didn't get what he wanted. I don't think Mostert did because he's not talking to anybody. So we go over to the 49ers. I don't think, now I could be wrong, I don't think the coach said anything.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. It could be John Lynch, but I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So I think it comes down to Parag, Marathe, or Jed York. And my money is on Jed York, but it could be Parag. Yeah. But here's it. I believe it's one of them. There were leaks in that organization before Lynch and Shanahan came in.
That's fact, right.
They were known to be leaking to national media to get their narrative across. And I think whoever it is, and I believe it's one of those two guys, probably Jed, is still doing that kind of crap and pretending they're not doing it. I don't appreciate it.
Agree. And they won't do it on big things and big players, but Raheem Mostert, they look at him as negligible. Right. A guy who's making $2 million a year, who cares? We'll leak something about him. I agree. I think it's probably Jed. Probably. And again, what I don't like about it is it created the impression that Raheem Mostert had a change of heart. Oh, he needed to meet. Clear the air about what? That he changed his mind? Clearing the air implies that he had a change of heart because the Niners didn't. They haven't given him his contract. So it makes it seem like he came to them and was like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe my agent was too greedy. Let's just go back to winning. And then if he never gets his contract, he can say, well, that was nothing. That report, you made it seem like you might help me, but then you didn't. And you made it seem like I didn't want to be helped anymore. So it's almost like fibbing a little bit. And so now Raheem Mostert would have to come back and be like, actually, that wasn't the nature of the meeting. And then he would look selfish again. So he's put in a bad position.
It puts him in a bad position. Yeah. Look, I want to say one other thing, and I'm not a fan, and I don't think like a fan, but I think I know how fans think. Fans, and I guess I'm talking to you people, generally side with management over players. You know, it's a good team. They may win the Super Bowl. Why does he care? He's on a winner. He should be happy. Mm-hmm. No. Do you want to make money on your job? He makes one of the lowest paid players there. And he's a running back. He may not have a long life in the league. People are entitled to make money. Yeah. And the organization isn't always right. The organization is sometimes right, but it isn't always right. This organization wasn't right about Jim Harbaugh. Mm-mm. No. This wasn't right about Tom Sula or Chip Kelly. Sometimes the organization is wrong. And I think fans, I'm not saying you should take Mostert's side. You should be open-minded.
Right. And players aren't wedded to teams like fans are. You know, players see themselves as working for the NFL, and they get stationed against their will or at random in different places around the country, and they could be on many different teams. But they work for the NFL, and they have to look out for themselves, not the team that they grew up rooting for, because they're never going to play for that team anyway.
Good point.